So listen, this is going to be the last video for the Marvelettes. Okay, we over. We done. We've moved on.
Yellow diamonds look like PP. Bitches fly from DC on my
That year, or early into the year following Motown 25, I had the opportunity to see Marvin Gaye and talk with him. And he asked me, Kat, why weren't y'all at the Motown 25? And I told him, Marvin, we were never invited. He said, what do you mean you were never invited? I said exactly what I said. We were never invited. And that's the way it's been with the old Motown seemingly forever to me. I have no bitterness or anything, but you'll be the only one. You'll be the only one that ain't bitter. Everybody else got bitter and sued Motown's miggity ass. She feels like because she was from Inkster, they took them for granted. Baby, they took everybody for granted. He was Diana Ross, and you see she had to sue. First of all, Sugar Ray was selling vagina for his ass, and he got her locked up. Diana Ross had a baby for his ass, and she had to sue to get her money. It's unfortunate that she feels that way. On February 17th, 1987, Georgiana's estate and Catherine filed a lawsuit against Motown. Nearly 2 years later, almost to the day, a settlement was reached between the parties in which Georgiana's estate, Catherine and Wyanetta, who initially was not a participant in the lawsuit, each received a low-end 5-figure monetary award for back royalties. Neither Gladys nor Wanda participated in the lawsuit. Throughout the 1980s, Gladys and Wanda periodically talked of reviving the Marvelettes, but nothing came of it. After leaving the Marvelettes in 1967, Gladys relocated to Los Angeles. She briefly lived in Philadelphia and in Inkster before settling back in Los Angeles in 1984. When the mid-1980s resurgence in the music of oldies acts took hold, Gladys decided to return to the stage. However, she was unsuccessful at recruiting any of her former singing partners to join her. A one-time editor of rock magazine, Marshak first got into concert promotions in 1969 by reuniting several former members of the Drifters for revival concerts performed under the Drifters name. In 1976, he came up with the idea of developing a Marvelettes group, knowing that none of the original members were singing professionally. On December 27, 1976, Marshak filed a trademark on the Marvelettes name with the incorrect spelling, Marvelettes, with 2 L's and 2 T's. Motown had not renewed their ownership of the name they originally trademarked in the early 1960s, leaving the moniker open and available to anyone who wanted to exploit the group's history. Since then, Marshak has fielded several Marvelettes acts with none of the singers having any lineage back to the original members. Oh, that's a nigga, Marshak. Marshak, you a nigga. Now, I thought that Berry Gordy was a nigga. But that goes to show how much Berry Gordy gave a rat's ass about the Marvelettes. We don't give a fuck about the name. The bitches don't make us no money, no more. Since then, Marshak has fielded several Marvelettes acts with none of the singers having any lineage back to the original members. His groups performed the original Marvelettes songs, warming up for major Motown acts, and actually work in prominent venues, fooling unsuspecting customers. That is a nigga. Oh, Marshak is a nigga. God gonna get you, Marshak. In addition, Marshak has threatened to sue any of the original Marvelettes if they performed, whereas this threat is of no consequence to either Catherine, who has no desire to sing professionally, or Wanda, who is too ill. Marshak's tactics have proven to be particularly frustrating for Gladys, who still performs. She states that every time someone called me or spoke to me about Marvelettes appearing somewhere, the news was like a stabbing. It hurt deeply to know that all of my hard work has been done in vain. And just like a killing, your life, your identity, your hopes and dreams are all slowly being drained away by this type of terrorism. Due to the restraints surrounding Mark Marshak's ownership of the Marvelettes name, Gladys is unable to simply select two background singers and pass the trio off as the Marvelettes. She has appeared as G-Lady and Good Friends, or as Gladys Horton and the Marvelettes. That's what I would do. Motown has received criticism for not holding on to the Marvelettes name. The way the trail events is viewed today, it appears that Motown set out to intentionally disrespect the Marvelettes by giving up the name, and as a result, former lead singer Gladys Horton is unable to perform her past hits on a regular basis. That a bitch. Motown either gave up or lost the name at a time when the Marvelettes were a defunct group. Didn't I tell you that Berry DeGordy is a crazed, deranged gambler? And he be gambling shit away. Look. I ain't got no money. But you can have that Marvelettes. You know they ain't doing nothing right now. But when time passes, you're going to be able to create your own Marvelette group as you please. And they can sing the fuck out of it. Beechwood 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. They can sing the fuck out of them songs. An awkward situation is created when Marvelettes are on tour with other Motown acts from the 1960s who performed with the original Marvelettes and are obviously partial to Gladys's plight. Particularly vocal in their displeasure are Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Reeves states, "It's a shame to have worked as hard as we have worked to establish ourselves that we could be imitated, and it's all right, and it can legally be done, and audiences will go to see them, and one of our major acts will house them on every show they give and treat the original Marvelettes or the original Martha and the Vandellas the same way he would treat non-original Marvelettes." The biggest shame is Temptation's leader, Otis Williams' camaraderie with some of these people from New York. But we already knew this. We already knew that Big Dick Otis always been up to the shenanigans. Ain't he a Scorpio? That's what them Scorpios do. They slither. I asked not to work with them until they cut my work off so bad that I had to bite my knuckles and say I have to eat and not affect my work. When we work, their dressing room is put on the other side of the facility. When I see them, they're coming off stage and we're going on. Promoters have the audacity to put us directly behind them. I've been scorned because I don't like them. And it's not because I'm a big bad wolf, but that's an insult to me. And it hurts my feelings that it can be done to my friends. These are people who paved the way for me. The Marvelettes were the next big girl group after the Shirelles. I'm discovered because of their hit records, and now I have to work with some non-original people who are taking their money. God knows Gladys needs the money. She earned it. Ain't this a bitch? Today, Catherine Anderson Schaefer, Wyanetta Coward Motley, and Wanda Young Rogers all reside in Inkster, Michigan. They maintain contact from time to time and occasionally reunite for various tributes and award ceremonies given on their behalf.
Right.